Okay. So I have to repeat what text and what subject as a recording. So the book of Kadamba, and this is the book, our book, and in the top subject is called Garland's of Bodhisattva, right? Uh-huh. Bodhisattva's Garland, as we're using for this is one of the mind training and used for how overcome difficulty in daily life. So we are now the chapter 8. So chapter 8, Chubak, could you show me the first the root line? Okay. So for cell material positions, that's we finish. Now we are going to with the next embellish yourself with the riches of the noble ones. Okay. So riches of noble ones is counted like a 7 type of noble riches, and then that's what we're going to talk today. So I think here the riches, noble riches, the 7 riches, it refers to the need riches of inner culture, right? Because we said the materials is not reliable or not the thirsty, and then it's essenceless. So therefore, what we need to do for like having more making meaningful life or finding more peaceful life, this is the way you can gain it, which is having the 7 riches of inner culture, right? So what are the 7 riches of inner culture? Here's a faith, morality, and then generosity, and then the insight, shame, and what called the faith, morality, giving, learning, and then conscience and shame, and then it's insight. Those are the 7. So this we call the inner the riches of inner culture, right? Refers to the need inner riches of inner culture, because it exactly brings us what we want in our life. So it exactly makes meaningful of our life. And what I mean here, the rich inner culture within these 7 points, 7 the richest things. Because it's described, one should recognize the mental well-being holds greater than signification than physical well-being, right? That's we need to know one things. Regarding, I'm trying to explain that how the 7 riches or how the inner culture help us. So the inner culture means knowing or recognizing which is better than others, and then exactly what point is, right? So, and how we are doing right now, and then what is exactly the postpone and things that they recognize. The mental well-being is more important or more significant than physical well-beings. But all the point we try to do in our daily life, try to do in a physical well-beings, right? So not really goes with the mental well-beings. We do have a psychology and so on, but in our daily life, really we try to be like a relax and smooth, and then no sick, no illness, some kind of that. So always try to be physical well-beings, not really try to do mental well-beings. So that's we should know here the understanding inner riches and inner culture. Let us understand mental well-being is more significant than physical health. And then also that acknowledging inner strength. The inner strength is the more powerful than physical powers, or right, more important than physical strength. Inner strength is more powerful or more affected than physical strength. You know, understand, I'm not talking about the lifting the rock, right? So, okay. So then also that understand that inner development is more work than the physical developments. So so far we never try to inner developments, but all the point we're trying is the physical developments, good health, the grows well and both strong. Everything we eating tries like the everything we do health for only the developing the physical health, right? Not try to develop the mental health. Are we? No, we know, yes, mental health, we have to develop it. So, but in normal life, in general, we not try that. So we never think how I have to develop my mind stronger, or how I have to be more kind persons or compassionate persons. We are not really depend on inner. We know the inner is more stronger, but not really depending on it. All the 100% we are rely on a physical. That's all we tried. So therefore, this we not try to do like a physical developments. All the so sorry. All the point we're doing the physical developments, not really try to do inner development. But understand that inner development is more than the physical developments. And then also okay, let me read here what I wrote. It says one should grasp that valuing the equality of self and other is more important than self-centeredness, right? Self-centeredness. So all the point we try to do self-cherishing instead of like both self and others, cherishing to both self and others. Only we try to do self-cherishings. But the doing cherish both self and other is important and valuable than self-centeredness. Cherish only yourself. We go to that direct opposite direction. So and then also that harmony is more important than competition, right? So that's also one things we need to know. All I'm talking that here, what is the inner riches? Inner riches means what you understand exactly the point, right? So therefore, the harmonies is more important than competitions. And then realize the responsibility. Taking responsibility is more important than fighting for individual right? So if there are no responsibility, then what you fight for right? So far, we fight for individual right always, right? Therefore, UNO makes like a human right. They have some kind of description or rule and regulation about human right? But why UN cannot make the human responsibility based on that human right? Because the right things, everyone can agree the human right or individual right needed, but no one can agree it responsibility. if this is your right, you should have a responsibility, right? If you shouldn't take responsibility, why you fighting for right? It's only fighting for right is not help, right? It's not benefit all of us. So therefore, I heard that UNO make a difficult decisions to make the kind of rule of regulation of the human responsibility, right? But the human right, they're clearly there, right? So this is, even we fight for our individual right, but we never fight for like a let's say my responsibility, right? Or we not really take responsibility. Now here, the inner, the cultures saying that taking responsibility is more important or more beneficial than you just fight for the like inner like a individual right. So once you take responsibility, individual rights comes there. You know, look at the our ancient cultures or like traditions and the modern civilizations. That's a big gap. All I'm talking here different between modern civilizations and ancient cultures. My inner culture here more refers to the ancient cultures. If we look back to the ancient cultures, it's really tell us exactly what we need to do for having make meaningful life or having more peaceful life, right? So the modern civilizations is not that helpful to finding exactly what we needed. We say, I need a peaceful, I need a happy, not just me, my family included and all of, but we're teaching us, we make rule and the rule and regulations, everything which is routinely happening in our daily lives are actually, it's more harms instead of bringing us happier. What do you think? So, right?
Yeah, it's teaching you to reach for this because you deserve to, you have the right for this, and and everybody has the right to have money and the right to have more. And
Yeah.
the right to, get what they want at any given time. And instead of saying, you have the responsibility to make sure that other people can, feel good instead of most of modern cultures, especially, I mean, everywhere, but especially in the West, is about what you can get for you.
Yeah, this is the this is the exactly happening, right? So therefore, this is one thing's important we know that responsibility is more important individual right. Regarding that, I'm just try to um, explain you how important that 7 richest things are. Otherwise, you might not feel, oh, it's not necessary in this lifetime. But if we're comparing the modern civilizations or modern cultures, then you will know. Yes, Jordan.
But don't you think that part of the reason that ancient cultures depended on each other was because they had to, and they were smaller groups?
Do you think today is not dependent on each other?
People don't want to believe that it is.
People don't want to believe, and what is fact?
But when you have a small group that needed to collectively, I don't know, make your farming or do your hunting or whatever it might be, you couldn't do that alone. So the members of the community had to depend on.
You couldn't do it, or you don't want to do it.
So that they could work together.
Therefore, I'm saying today you couldn't do it, or you don't want to do it.
It's a lot bit more difficult.
Yeah, we have a ground, or we can make farm and so on, so on. So yeah, I don't see the big difference the earlier and today. How we survive earlier, same exactly surviving today, right? So if you think earlier is dependent on each other, but today is not dependent on each other, it's wrong. Today still is dependent on each other, but earlier every society, every community not always comes together. There are some many individuals there, but they still survive life with the peaceful and what they use their all the technique. what happened at that time, right? But today, it's the same. Some big societies comes together, some are staying individual, but still depend on each other, right? The depend on each other is not only the ancients or earliest.
People don't seem to realize every orange they eat was grown in their fire.
Yeah. So, and then whatever we done the previous, still we can do it today. But the difference is we don't like to do it or we don't want to do it. But all the potential or existence still alive there, whatever we done before, right? So without electronic, we can survive. So isn't that the New Jersey or somewhere have a one community, small village there who's not using the electronic and so on? I heard that. I'm not wrong.
Pennsylvania, the Amish.
Amish, yeah. Yeah, still alive there. And then many villages which we don't know, Africa, India, they survive with the candle nighttime. It's exactly happening what earlier happened. But with the country which is way developed it, with the material developed it, not the inner developed it, right? The material developed it, there you have an electronic. And there are so many the easy things here, right? So one switch on, all house is entire house is heat. One switch on, entire house is cool, right? So that's not easy, but only the materialistic is developed.
No chopping wood.
Yeah, no, definitely no chopping woods. It's difficult for me now. So, and then we might think, oh, why I have to do the chopping boards? Because I have money and someone doing for me, then why I have to do it, right? So that, the part of inner things more lazy and challenging, compassions, like a competitions, angers are growth instead of the positive one. But the materials, external, develop way that our imagination is way developed it. The way others developed it, or how today technologies, some we cannot imagine. Oh, it's possible, right? So robot can be weather now, brings you food, and then they can be sell you, and if you go to like store, right? So yeah, that much developed it. But same time, really we gain our happiest and peaceful life. That's question, right? So therefore here, I try to compare that the earlier ancient tradition and then modern civilizations. So what is exactly opposite, what we think opposite important is, which we shouldn't think it, right? So I have a few lines also here. And then also the international human right cannot be equated with the individual responsibility. The responsibility actually, we should take responsibility more global levels. Isn't that we said think globally and act locally, right? It's very like a meaningful quotes there, right? We know that, all of us know that. So therefore, think global is important. Therefore, think global, take responsibility for global as act to the local, right? But the modern civilization do opposite one. So therefore, all this they have a list. What is important than others is let's say the earlier ancients, the mental well-being is more important. They think it's more important, right? And then as well as you have mental well-beings, and then brings you the good health, the physical health. it's really affected physical health. But here, opposite thinking, but it cannot go reverse. Physical health, not that much powerful to help to the mental well-beings. But when mental well-beings is really affected to the physical health, it's help. I'm not saying that exactly black and white, but it's a majority how much affected each other. But the mental well-being is more helpful or more beneficial than the physical health. You know, if within these two. Okay, well, what do you think? It?
I think that's worse than your physical,
Yeah,
because your body can be sick, but your mind isn't.
I heard there are many cases that who have cancer and who has the physical illness, but as well as their calm mind, and then the let's say the calm mind is a lot of help to cure your physical health. And then even today, I think the doctors are giving advice. We have a physical problem, you should more calm. Isn't that
Yeah,
they're giving advice? That's
medicine
right.
backs it up that
Yeah.
stress makes any physical problem
Yeah,
worse.
yeah.
Any illness, like lowers, you get sicker, you can catch a cold easier if you're under too much stress and your mental health is off. Even things like that.
So therefore, the physical doctor is giving out advice to meditate or calm minds. It's not the mental doctors. So physical doctors giving us that. This sees, right? How powerful that mental well-being. So this is the all the 7 points are refers with this inner cultures or inner riches, right? So therefore, here more talking about that the ancient traditions. How do we survive our life with the peaceful, right? So, and these are the 7 riches are giving idea. Again, this makes you, but once you not compare, as I said earlier, will not cease is necessary to do that, right? So because there are a lot of delusion by material developments, diluted by material developments that we're relying. Okay, that can do it, not necessarily that. So, but if you analyze more, then we'll see, right? Because see, what we have a problem today is not different than what we have a problem like the 1,000 years ago. Same. 1,000 years ago, whoever anger caused them problem. Same today anger, same causes, right? So earlier, their jealousy, how much could bring them problem? Same today's jealousy. The jealousy part, anger part, and that's all the negative emotions not really change it. It continues, comes, right? So therefore, the antidote for that, we should be better go back, earlier, because it comes way earlier, and then definitely the earlier civilizations might be found, they might look it for that to solution for how I can be a more harmonious, be a more peace. They might found solution better than today's solutions, right? The finding peaceful life. So therefore, it's very worth and meaningful you go back to think again and reflecting again the ancients culture, how they survive, what they use it. It might be, or not, it might be 100%. I'm confidently saying a lot of things benefit today because it's their cures by their antidote. That antidote should come today. So yeah, many of my friends asking, do you think the Buddhists should change with the generation, or Buddhists should change with the modern civilizations? Then my answer is no, right? Because this is the, like I said, the Buddhist talks about the compassion, patience, all this perfect practice are, which is can exactly eliminate or reduce those negative emotion and sufferings. So, and then why we should change, right? So 100 years ago, we make medicines, it still help, then why we have to change? In modern time, yes, but anger is same. Modern time, yes, illness is same, right? So, and then as all this, the modern time, but the person being is what is carrying from earliest continuum, their the qualities is the same actually, right? So the both external and internal today and earlier same actually, the human beings part of the human beings, right? So as everything seems, then what happened before, why we have to change today? We can carry it, we can use it. But today's young generation might they might don't like it. That's different issue. They don't know. So until they learn, right? So what they see is what they see. Based on that, what they think, right? So, but more educated, more learning, or more experience, that help, right? So my generation is not that much like a developed yet as today's. Even no cell phone, right? When I was young, there are no cell phone. And then the TVs are black and white, right? So not that much developed. But we have a little bit experience about that earlier, how we survive. 100% I feel that earlier when my young time is more peaceful. I'm not saying that I have definitely at the time less responsibility compared to today. So where you have a more responsibility, you might have a more stress. That's true. But I'm not saying that part where the young time is more free time. I'm saying I feel it how communities calms and harmonies. That's what I'm talking. So in my generation time, or maybe we all same, right? So I don't know here because I came here West late. I don't know that much. So where I survive, where I grow up, that community is very peaceful and harmonious, helping each other, and they sincerely inviting lunch and dinner, and they sincerely offering us something, not politic use to offering something. And today's lunch could be politic, right? So careful. So anyhow, so that I feel very harmonious and peace, calm at that time. Then I can imagine before our generation, yes, there might have more peace, more hard work, right? More hard work, definitely they might have it because technology is not that much grows. So if they go to a farm, they have to use their hand to dig the mud. Today don't need to. So it's more physical hard work there, but the more mental peaceful. So today, the physical is more relaxed, more mental distractions. So this is the difference between like ancient and modern civilizations. So therefore, good to use, go back. And then the seven riches are one of them. And so when the civilizations grows, right? What do you call civilization? Society, yeah, society. When they began the society after like the early man times, when the society developed, when society began, there are few things necessary which is mentioned in Nagarjuna's text. Well, Nagarjuna text saying that Nagarjuna text name called the 100 verses on the perfections wisdom. So it is advice for the how to survive life. It's not the Dharma terms, right? So it speaks the four aspiration or four aims of life, which is Dharma, wealth, desire, liberation. Right? Dharma, wealth, desire, and liberations. And two set of cause and effect. So the desire is cause and wealth is result. This is one way to surviving life. One set, right? Desire and wealth. And another is Dharma and liberation. Right? It's said with the both the aims of this lifetime and future lifetime. Even we not believe or not thinking future lifetime, but all these fours are health in this lifetime. Desire, wealth, and Dharma and liberation, right? That's two set. So now we carrying desire and wealth continues, but Dharma and liberations, and then it keep decreasing or keep losing it and then disappearing it, which is like a very helpful and beneficial things. So yes, this is not only the Nagarjuna makes it point. Before, it's a long time in India, non-Buddhists or Indians, many Indian scholar, ancient scholar, who is in religious and not, they talks this four important in the growth of society and community. But today we added politician as one, right? It's not the wealth only, the politicians, we added. And then the medicine things, early they do have it. We do have, it's developed today, but earlier have it, right? So, and also look at the Tibetan earlier 7th centuries, King Songtsen Gampo make the rule for countries. There are two set of rule, the worldly activities rule and Dharma activities rule. So that's worldly activity rules we call 16 humanity guidelines, 16, right? 16 humanity guidelines. And then Dharma activity rules is we call the 10 virtues rule. The both make a rule for community. And then those are, I think it's important to learn today. This is, they think the surviving life is not only rely on materials. Surviving life is also needed the inner development and riches of inner cultures, and which is understand exactly the point that which can help us or benefit us to have peaceful life and more harmonious, right? So, okay, those are I just encourage you, and then I'll go back to the seven the richest noble points. Here gives orders. We have triple. Where is the lines? Seven riches. Is there? No there? Oh, okay. I didn't know. So the same commentary, which is like a teaching on the Dharma of the fathers, gives us some explanation on the sevens. The first is talks about the faith. The faith is, now we're talking the ancient idea how to help us to bring more peaceful life, right? So the first one is the faith. The faith is another way to talk admirations, or another way to enthusiastic, right? So once you have a belief and trust, or you admire it, it brings you interesting or great aspirations. Therefore, it's needed the beginning parts. So we're giving example, the faith is as a mother. It's a source of every human beings, right? Or source of all human beings, or all beings. So therefore, the faith is source of all the good qualities which you needed. So therefore, the faith do not take as only the trust. Faith take as also admirations, which is brings you enthusiastic, right? Which you bring to great aspirations. So therefore, it need to be faith first. Once you have interesting or great aspirations for doing something, then no one can stop it, right? You can move forward like continuously. So therefore, put the faith as a first. Needed everything you need to do in your daily life. The trust is first. And then trust, we are not talking the blind trust, right? And blind faith. So trust, we're talking the trust with the wisdom. As I said, admirations. The admirations, it's not just talking about the physical things, right? So the admirations, you are sometimes you have admired with someone because this is the inner quality. It's not attractive, right? So therefore, whatever we need to do or practice in this lifetime, the enthusiastic or interesting is the first. That faith will help you to have this. Because then no one can stop to do these things, or you will never lose your effort to doing continuously because you have an interesting, which is comes by the admirations of faith. So therefore, the first is faith, and second is it talks about morality. Yes, if you want to do anything with your like enthusiastic or admirations, do more like which things can be benefit for self and others based on benefit for self and others, which is the moral ethics, right? Moral ethics is not harms to you, not harms to others. Instead of harming, it brings benefit for both. So they're saying you should be like either you're studying or you're doing some practice or you do some community job or whatever you do. If you do with the more moral ethics, then it's really benefit for all, right? So therefore, moral ethics is the second, they counted as second. And third parts here says as giving, right? It's like the world of giving. So the moral ethics, which is harms to you to I mean, like which things you disturb to you, you become a good what good practitioner of moral ethics or morality is our desire, right? A craving. Our craving and desire will disturb us to be continuous, stay on the moral ethics, right? Once you're craving something, where you desire something, is completely change. It's not only desire to person, desire on material things, also change all your moral ethics. So becoming moral ethics better needs something, not desire on this. Part of that, try to learn to give up, right? Not just you give $10 to others. Give up means like something is not necessary, something that always causes you suffering. Then why you go back again saying that? Why you go back again? Just leave it there or give it up. So that is the second, third parts. The compare like with the connected, how it's connected to the second, right? Because it's important, needed. Even you study, if you have more craving and desire, lot of disturbed, so therefore the youth who I have connected, I always um, talk to them. So no romantic while you are studying, right? It's a lot of disturbed. Your all energy and time need to be spent with it. Then finally you gain nothing. Because one day you are separating for your romantic, whatever, right? So therefore, I encourage them no romantic. Some of them I only promise that until college, then until finish the college. If I'm not having a romantic, can you give me cat or dog? Yes, I say yes. I will give you. So anyhow, so these things like a craving and desire is obscure to you, success your many aims, actually, right? But I'm not saying the craving desire never have a benefit. Okay, so but way, when, and then to what, this is depend. So therefore, if you want to do something big aims, then you shouldn't desire on some individual things. It disturbs you. So yeah, usually I said the desire is blunt, right? Once it comes, once it's increased, you're not seeing anything beside what you have craved on. You're not seeing anything. Then you losing all your like moral ethics, everything. What do you think? Right?
There's gotta be something, I mean, like, it is desire to like do something good for people, maybe that's where something could be positive, like you lose sight of all the negative stuff because you're saying, I wanna become a benefit to everyone, and, but I mean, even that, I suppose, you could get caught up in it and trample over people when you're saying, no, I'm gonna do this and help people, and you could end up losing your compassion because you're too focused on you again. But
Yeah.
I think there's gotta be some balance there's gotta be some.
Definitely, I'm not saying that desire 100% is wrong, right? So, and desire never brings you benefit. I'm not saying that. The time and what, that is really depend. So therefore, the young who is studying, go to high school, to college, the romantic is not good, right? So this is the wrong time to have romantic. Beside that, they can enjoy it, anything, right? So that's that kind of example. So in our, even our adult who is like professionally workers, those also have some kind of their own aim. So sometimes desire might stop it or disrupt it, lot of obscurity. So therefore, say, learn to keep up. Learn to giving, to having desire to material things. Learn to give up once you have something disturbed to you with your desire, right? Um, yeah, that's true. It's not that simple to give up way we're talking here, right? But it's possible. If you're in the middle, it's possible, I can say. If you're a beginner, you can control it. So control way at beginning to you desire on something, or you are in the middle, it's a strong desire there, but still possible, you can change it, right? So therefore, the craving and desire disturb to like having good moral ethics, therefore try to give up and learn something to keep giving to others. Therefore, third, it comes like a giving others, the wealth of giving others. And then the fourth, learning, right? Study or learning. So, and then again, once you have a good moral ethics, and then other one say, learn based on good moral ethics. Do not learn for defeat someone. Do not learn where competition, right? Do not study to harm for others, right? Study for benefit self and others both. Therefore, it's good to study with based on moral ethics, right? It's good to study with something that you are not craving and desire. So that will help you to your study will be successful, right? And study is actually learning, and study is I don't have to say how important it is. Is gaining a lot of wisdom, right? And then it telling us we can do like a self teachers, we can do self what call yeah,
Self-learning?
self-learning or self-psychologies, and everything you can control by yourself, everything you can do by yourself, right? So therefore those things actually comes from study and learning. So but learn which is necessary and important to beneficial self and other, right? So that's an important part anyhow. So that comes to the study and learning how is important in the next. And then after that comes and conscious and shame. The conscious sometimes translated as concerning other, and shame translated as to self, what called self what's that? Do you remember Geshe Singh's book? He gives different terms on this too. I remember one is a self, like I mean, concerning other, which is talking about the conscious here, concerning other, and so far I'll use the shame then. Okay, so, but today, modern civilizations having shame is weakness, right? And then concerning other is useless, right? Meaningless. So
sometimes, like, I was gonna say, like, sometimes kindness is a reaction. It's not, you're not thinking, oh, I'm doing this to be kind to this person. You're reacting, you're being compassionate to the person because you're listening and you're, you know, do you see what I'm saying?
understand. When I mention here modern civilization, majority, I'm talking majority, that there's some individuals, still there are so many beautiful people there, very kind people there, individual, right? But it cannot cover the world, but the world is messed up because majority is like this. So that's what I'm taking is how majority, and this is how affected our children's young generations. That's danger. So
Change that viewpoint because we're so far advanced technology speaking, I would say, in some ways for our detriment, right?
mhm,
You know what I mean? That's what you see, how you react, you know, all those things like kind of dictate people's reaction, right?
mhm.
So, and having things done easily for you takes away the motivation to work together for the common good. You see what I'm saying? Like, I guess what I'm saying is what would you say would be your idea of changing that? Because it seems like such a lofty
Mhm.
thing to change, it's hard. And I don't know.
I see. Yeah, also, okay, as we go back here, that concerning other and shameful, I mean, like, not shameful, the shame, right? So that many of us giving advice, don't be shy. Okay, some, the point is right, don't be shy. Don't be shy to talk. Don't be shy to fight for your right things, right? But it's not that don't be shy for everything. It's not saying that you shouldn't have a shame, right? So I think the concerning other and shame is the fundamental of becoming good human being or fundamental of moral ethics.
It's in Buddhist psychology, right?
Uh-huh.
Self-respect.
Or self-respect, yeah, okay, self-respect and concerning other as I use the shame. So these two is like I think the fundamental of moral ethics. As well as you have these two, it naturally comes that you become a good human being or good moral ethics. If you have lack of these two, you will do whatever you like it. You're not concerning other. This is not my business. I have to do what I want it. That's a wrong thought, I think. And as well, like either we call self-respect or shame. So I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't lie. I shouldn't steal. That kind of things. So if you have some kind of self-respect or shame, it automatically they stopped it doing some kind of wrong things, right? So usually I'm teasing with the young kids. If you have a stomach pain and you fought in school, you don't have to shy it. This is nature because you have fought, right?
You don't have to fight it like a not safe.
What is that? What is that?
Oh, is that?
Little levity is okay.
It's fought, right?
Oh, is that?
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying you don't have to shy. You have when you fought because your stomach, like you have problem with your stomach. You have an illness.
Right.
Once you vomited, why you need to shy? You have an illness. You fought. Why do you have to shy? You have illness, but you're lying. You should more shy. Shame, right? You should have a shame. What called this? Shameful.
Self-respect.
Yeah, shame. And also, once you disrespect your teacher in school class, you should have a shame. You are not listening. You should have a shame. But the basic which we have a shame or not shame is a big change. Now we having shame on having thoughts, but we do not have a shame on lying, right? We have a shame on what call not look nice, but we do not have a shame on being more what call moral ethics, right? Yeah. So the big changing here. So therefore I encourage you to go back. So needed shame and shame and then self-respect or the concerning other, then I don't think it's problem to have more good moral ethics. Once you lack of this, and then so these two actually I like to talk more on it, but it will come once we talk the chapter 22nd. It's repeated again, and then it gives more details there. So we can cover more on it the next. So for give you example, right? Not recognizing father as father, not recognizing mother as a mother. It's a shame, right? What you understand what you mean, right?
Respecting them and not
Yeah. Not recognizing father as father means, yes, it's your father, but somehow it's not makes you satisfactions or it's cause you some kind of problem, then you view them as a not father. But it's a shame, they're saying. And do not accepting or not knowing the mother as a mother. It's also shameful. That kind of example more comes in later. So I like to share. This too is very important. A young generation, we must talk these two concerning other and shame or self-respect. We should talk more on it. And then as well as we try to engage more this, try to do more practice. So, and then this is how we can have the good moral ethics, good human being. So this, I really see this is the fundamental of this becoming good human being and good moral ethics, right? So that's we'll cover later. And then after that, it talks about insight means wisdom, right? So the wisdom is it's not saying after that you will have wisdom. It's saying wisdom is you necessarily need it in your daily life to surviving. And then I don't know how you think the wisdom means. The wisdom.
Understanding,
Knowing something or
but a deeper understanding, right? Isn't that wisdom? And sometimes wisdom comes over time, and sometimes wisdom comes unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's something that sometimes you just understand intuitively. Right?
Yeah, yes, yeah. So that's part of wisdom. Wisdom, which is knowing what is right and wrong, exactly, right? And then yeah. So the right and wrong, many people saying is depend. I don't know. Right and wrong, right? So here's something wrong for us, but some might find the right. But something we found the wrong, they find right or of reverse, right? Therefore, saying they're not really exactly right and wrong. How they describe, based on their feeling or based on their wisdom. That's we have to think. Who's saying that, right? They are not really right and wrong. What is your meaning? Because people sees this is right. When people sees what we describe wrong, people sees that right. What do you mean people sees? They sees through by their emotion or they sees through by their wisdom, right? Just emotion. What we deciding in how we change the terms and everything today, modern time, all this changed by emotion and feeling. I feel that. Don't say it. That makes new rule. I feel that. You should say it. That makes new rule. Everything described driven by our feeling and emotion is was just not necessarily right.
So that they're trying to frame it so that you can basically do what you want at any given time, because, well, that's right for me in this situation, it turns into, well, I want to do it, so I can do it. So
This is how people described. Yeah, this is how people describe. But it's not necessary that you feel right to do it, or you want to right to do it, means not that it's right? So, but when the wisdom said it's right, it might be. But what I'm saying is here, right and wrong is based on harms or not harms to self and other. Something that harms to, again, harms is also has to be clarified on it. The long-term harms, right? So which is things long-term harms to self and other, which is wrong. And then it's long-term benefit to self and other, which is right. this is the right or wrong how we defined it. And then this is always remaining as right and wrong, whether how much you described or you agree or not, right? So which things harms the harms, right? But still, if you harms you, but still you like it, that's your visions and then your decisions. It's not necessary that all people follow that. So therefore, we should have some kind of common right and wrongs. That is the good way to define it, the long-term harms and benefit. To say, and then wisdom, which is knowing it, it's very helpful, right? And once you have all this together, the seven riches, then you have not problem to have like the meaning having a meaningful life and makes your life peaceful, right? But definitely it's contradictory with the modern civilizations. It's not necessarily wrong, right? So that's what we have to think, and then what we need it in our daily life. That's what we should apply. What people say it's not judged that way. What people say it. Your wisdom should decide it. Finally, concluded by your wisdom, right? It's not led concluded by Buddha, not led concluded by some professor and some like a famous book. But definitely you have to study to your conclusion come better, right? So therefore, usually we say it in Tibetan the expressions, you discussion with the people, but decide it yourself. That's the said. Any similar like phrase in your Western? Discussion with the people, but decide it by yourself. But discussion is the part of making your decision better, right? Instead of you just think it's yes, could be wrong. Discussion more or than reading more or study more, then it will shows you what exactly it brings you more point. After that, whatever you decided, maybe you don't have it not brings you regret again. Otherwise, simply decisions in our daily life, special decision with your emotion definitely brings you regret in the future.
It's like try to have an experience with it, doing what it said, or practicing whatever you're trying to do, or whatever Buddha said, and try doing it, and then what's your experience? And then
Yeah,
you can
experience.
decide whether it's right, did it do something? Did it make me feel even a little bit better compared to like what I used to do? And if it did, you should probably do more of it.
Yeah, your wisdom with the experience is much better. Yeah, right, much better. That's if you can go that way, that's wonderful. So at least they should have a perfect and good reason before you decide it. So therefore need wisdom. Then all this comes together as a saying, seven riches, noble. So any question?
Great online is shame, knowledge.
Humility.
I did the same.
I see. Okay. Yeah, okay. Humility and shame. Okay.
No, they're
Thank-
we're asking.
They're asking, are they?
Oh, they're saying is same.
Yeah, they're asking.
English word, I don't know. Humility, not necessary to have shame. Humbleness is more refers with humility, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And humbleness is no, sometimes the humbleness makes you more sometimes it's disturbed you, something loose. Humbleness, okay. The humbleness is question actually. Again, when we talk humble, it's again not talk your actions, right? So your inner humble, then need, but I don't think it's same with shame.
Shame comes in if there is a perceived negative action. That's the difference. With humility, it could just generalize. Shame always has to have a negative, at least a perceived negative.
Connotation to it, yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. So therefore, it's not really same, right? I don't think it's same. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of times in Western society, they talk about shame and it's somewhat of a different connotation than, it's a somewhat different meaning than in like a Buddhist context, because destructive shame about feeling like I did something wrong and I'm the worst person in the world and I'm horrible is a different kind of thing than I did it wrong and this is gonna hurt someone and, I shouldn't do that. I think there's a big separation there.
Mhm.
There's shame in the West, they automatically think that it's bad.
That's
I found it- I found it-
Yeah.
Talking to my friends, I talk about shame in a Buddhist context,
Because
so
that
like, well,
can be useful.
yeah, like they
Yeah.
say, well, shame is bad, like no matter what, I'm like, there's different types of it and different levels.
That's true. So I will not say Western, it's more modern civilizations. Modern civilizations. The earlier Western, I don't think they have something like that, So yeah, it is modern civilizations changed everything. So therefore we have to be careful. Yeah. So another simple way say modern civilizations goes more emotion with the emotion. And earlier goes more with the wisdom. How about that? Yeah. And then modern civilizations is not really, the practical, they say practical, right? The modern civilization might say, oh, we do more practical rather than imaginations. The practical, what it really means, what we talk here, 7 richest things. I think it's practical, like a being patience, or being more like not react immediately or not say everything immediately. I think it's one of the practical, right? But the modern my thing, practical is say it immediately in the moment. What you hear something, I don't see is sometimes find it as practical. It's caused more harms. So the practical is not that results should see right now. Practical is which having long-term result or better result that I see is practical. And sometime in the moment what you're doing, it not really found the practical because not seeing result in the moment, right? But you might have a better result. So modern civilization is their practical has to be see result today or tomorrow. That's their practical.
I agree with all that. This makes me think of, at least in my experience here in this culture, it's a lot of stress on perfectionism too.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about shame, and shame seems like a great way to learn a really profound lesson. And if, it seems as though shame is discouraged or seen negatively here, where it is an opportunity to learn. It's something that I'm gonna keep in mind at least.
Mm.
Not to be
Yeah.
ashamed of shame.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just want to say, I spent a lot of my life being really busy. And always, I'm a hairdresser, so I was booked a month in advance, so I was pushing, and I've been forced obviously to slow down.
I understand. Right.
And because it quieted my mind down. too. But things are good too, so I'm very happy with that.
Wonderful to hear that.
I think people need to slow down. It's not important to think about that next thing, just kind
Mhm. Yeah.
of catch your breath. Be regular. Not yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just want to say that.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Yeah. So happy to hear that. So, okay. The part of the shame things we will recover like when we talked about 22nd chapter. Maybe it might take long. Yeah. Okay. So any further question or discussion?
I have a
Suggestion?
question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, so on the question of shame, the kind of shame which leads to despair or lack of confidence in yourself might be considered more coming from guilt or from some sort of deep lack of self-esteem. I don't think that's the kind of shame you're talking about here. So I just wanted to ask you, is the Tibetan word that is being used in this text, is it the kind of shame which is, I think it's called ngosa, or
It's
is it that?
Masaya.
Yeah, it is ngosa. So that would be more like dishonor, or you feel that you yourself cannot accept that behavior in yourself because you have a value which you choose to aspire to upholding, and you're not going to accept lesser behavior in yourself. Is that correct?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Ah,
So, yeah, let's say the shame, you shouldn't have a shame. Like say, the homeless people, they should shame. I don't think they should have shame.
Society shame.
Right. Yeah. So society is different issue, I think. But the person, because as we know, that every human do not have a same what call same qualities, right? So sometimes people intently become a homeless. That's a different issue. But this homeless there who is not drunk, right? Really, they cannot put effort, or they're not successful. Everything, they become a home. This is part of the actually object of compassion. And but do they have to be shamed because of having this not necessarily, because why we need to shame on having like a homeless? Not necessary. But after you become homeless, you still to become more rich. You're lying to become more rich. That's shame. Just becoming homeless is not shame. But after you try to gain something for use the negative, those are shame. That's how Buddhists describe the shame or not shame. This is example I'm saying it.
yes,
But
yes.
is this
So
related with your definitions?
I think so. The question then is, how do we experience this shame in a positive way, which gives us strength and gives us faith that we can perform in a way which will not lead us to shame? Is this coming from not viewing this as the judgment of others, or not fearing the judgment of others, but instead viewing this as our own motivation, our own not accepting this behavior, or what would you have to? I'm thinking of the five. I think they're called not hindrances, the five faults of meditation. And the first one, I forget the Tibetan word, but when you just don't have the motivation, you just are lazy, and you don't find the strength to do the meditation. There's a word for that. I forget what the Tibetan word is, but
Lelo.
yeah. I feel that people experience that if they have the wrong kind of shame. The shame which is leading them to that might be despair and a lack of confidence in yourself. And I'm just curious, how do we avoid having that occur? And I think part of it is the definition of shame. The definition of shame is not something that we fear the judgment of others, or we feel we are somehow not worthy.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
necessary. So here shame means you have to do what you should do. So it means like taking more responsibility globally, or these things are that positive way to do it. But not taking responsibility is shame, right? So, and then here, the fighting for individual right is not shame. But without taking responsibility, fight for individual right is shame for us. It is shame for us.
Right.
So if you really fight for individual right, you have a right to do that. At the same time, you take responsibility. If you do not take responsibility, then your fighting for right is not worth to do that. So therefore, it's shame.
I see. So in that way, the shame is not in any way debilitating. It is in fact giving you more strength and energy.
Yeah. So do what you have to do. Don't do what you don't have to do. You don't have to do, or you don't need to. You like not is don't do something that is shouldn't do it, and do what you have to do. That's the shame, having shame then. Who have a shame will do that. So who have a lack of shame, then they will do what shouldn't do it. They will not do what should do it.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Geshe.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, thank you.
Ngosa in
Not sure. Tree.
te.
Ha, you tree.
That's totally different.
Different kind of shit.
Tree is not the shame things.
This picture.
No, I don't know. It is nothing shame things, yeah. The ngosa is shame, yeah.
As opposed to say drelwa.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so don't turn into the language class.
I feel great shame for having done that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, we will count on it and you know.
Or giving things up. It's easy to recognize things like television, but what about things like musical instruments or dancing or painting? These would be considered fruitful activities in our society, but are they? Do you have advice on giving things like this up?
Oh, okay. No, I think I don't say that those are giving up. But what is saying that depend on the contact, right? Let's say I'm giving you an example. It's not directly answer, but giving you an example. So meditation is the right thing to do it, isn't that? But when you're listening, then meditation is wrong. When you study, meditation is wrong. Because meditation disturbs you to study. You get it, right? When you study, you have to open your ear. You have to brain, like you have to listening. Meditate, you cannot listening it, right? So therefore, when you study and during that time, at that moment, if you meditate, you are not studying then. It disturbs you to study. So general meditation is good, right? So same way, the dancing things are generally good. It's part of exercise and preserving culture or whatever, and makes you some kind of happy, which is very wonderful. But if something disrupt you, you are mean to do something, right? You have to finish your homework today, but you have a desire to go dancing. At that moment, you should control the dancing. That means not that you control dance, you not go dancing forever, right? So it's everything is depend that we have to give up, which is disturbing, and then sometimes we have to totally give up, which is forever disturbing, or sometimes we have to give up at the moment during this disturbing time. So otherwise, it has, we can engage it. Is this clear?
I wonder if the person's talking more about the sense pleasures. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
I was thinking maybe they were trying to get at the whole idea of sense pleasures, like, giving into dancing or playing an instrument as a way distracting from practicing Dharma. I wonder if they were talking about it in that way. Like as part of, renouncing things that someone in ordination might give up doing, like doing certain things because it distracts from practice or whatever reason.
That's true. That's true. So let's say I listening music sometime. Yeah.
In the moment, you're, especially if you're creating something or you're finding joy in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between, you see what I'm saying?
Understand.
Finding joy,
Understand.
It's good, it's not just, I mean, if you're collaborating, if you're working with other people, it's not just about you, it's about people, it's about what you're doing. And it's about creating something together.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Therefore, I try to say I do listening music, Indian music, song. I very much like it. But when I need a rest, then I'm listening it. Because as I'm human, ordinary being, I don't have enough inner strength but sometimes I need support. The monks shouldn't be listening, monks shouldn't be sing. But part of my resting, I try to do that because it makes more relaxed. So, but not listening forever. So not every time and every moment, because even I very much like the songs, right? So this is how we need to go. Okay.
So, question on that theme of giving up or, when talking about desire and, striving towards something. Let's say you're working towards like a beneficial goal for yourself and others.
Mhm.
But let's say that goal, like, maybe you used to be able to attain that goal, but now you can't attain that goal or for at this time or whatever, and things are always changing, but like, do you have any other words of wisdom on like how to help yourself give up for now? Because it's not beneficial to be thinking about those things and striving for something that's unattainable at this time.
Mhm. Yeah. This morning I had a conversation with the Lobsang. I think it's last night. Okay, last night we had a conversation. He saying that managing and controlling is different, you know. Then I said, no, that's the same. Managing and controlling is same because managing or control, if you think control is forcibly do, even you have to hold. I'm not saying the control mean that. Control can be go with the gentle because both has to be reason to change. If you're managing better or controlling is stop to do something bad, both need a reason to think. Once you think the reason, it's a gentle way to stop to do that. That's the way we control. Control is not always forceful way to do that, right? There are many gentle way to do that. So, but it's important you should find the perfect reason and think that reason repeatedly, and then additional reasons. How much you think the reasons, then this is how we change it. That's we call analytical meditation, right? Any change pools, you need to think reason, that part of analytical meditations to changing yourself. Then it slowly automatically change, right? Sometimes if you keep thinking reason, you will not notice that you already change it, but sometimes you realize it. So that's what I'm saying. Thinking reason is important. Why I shouldn't do that? Why I should do that? Yeah. So therefore, for me, managing control same. Yeah. Okay, so then we're going to stop here. So the part of here, Kadamka, is one part of the material which is the monks hold, and then the rest of the commentary it described that Kadamka. It's actually beautiful, it's meaningful, but I'm going to skip that. You can read the commentary. I'm going to move to the next chapter, which is 20, I think like 9 chapter. That's when we moved. So I'm going to skip that, right? Okay. Okay. So thank you. Wonderful. By the way, how are you? A long time no see. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Geshe.
Okay. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.